Hello, I'm Michael Brook, and welcome to the latest instalment of No Ticket Required, the Waterman's regular online film club, which meets to discuss an outstanding example of international cinema. In fact, on this occasion, we'll no doubt be discussing several outstanding examples of international cinema, with an emphasis on the word international, because Jeremy Thomas is one of the most extraordinary film producers ever to emerge from this country. To date, he's personally produced or co-produced 39 feature films and executive produced a further 20. They include a winner of 9 Oscars, The Last Emperor, one of the most controversial films of its era, Crash, and regular collaborations with some of the most challenging and adventurous filmmakers of the last half-century: Bernardo Bertolucci, David Cronenberg, Matteo Garrone, Jim Jarmusch, Takashi Miike, Nagisa Oshima, Nicholas Roeg, and Jerzy Skolimowski. And he didn't start out making safely commercial releases and then branch out when he felt more emboldened. He was pushing the creative envelope right from the start of his career. He is, in short, a fascinating man, and I can confirm firsthand from interviewing him that he's also terrific company, which is just as well as Mark Cousins' documentary The Storms of Jeremy Thomas invites us to share a car with him as he drives through France for his annual pilgrimage to the Cannes Film Festival. Here's the trailer.
Once upon a time there was a prince, a movie prince. He was born into a film world, a British Hollywood.
There is no one like Jeremy Thomas.
He's the dream producer.
His history with amazing filmmakers is just incomparable.
You and I are driving somewhere over 4 or 5 days. Where are we headed and why?
There's a necessity to arrive in Cannes for the first day of the festival. We can look at some incredible places. We can find something special.
I look at the man in the car beside me. Who is he?
One of the things about Jeremy is that he's so rock and roll.
He didn't just get the funding for some of the most daring films of the last 40 years. They, in part, came from his imagination.
Independent spirit is a great thing to have in creativity. Sex is something that is very much involved in my cinema. There was a movement that was exposed to the hotbed of politics.
He's a pirate. We have to have people who shake it up and keep it fresh.
And the further you get away from the center, the more original the work is.
He's always living in the middle of the storm.
Now, Mark Cousins affectionately calls Jeremy Thomas the Prince in acknowledgement of the fact that he was born into British cinema royalty. His father, Ralph Thomas, was a hugely successful comedy director responsible for the long-running Doctor series, amongst others, and his uncle Gerald directed all 31 of the Carry On films, including the 1992 revival Carry On Columbus. So the film bug bit at a very early stage, but when he was still in his mid-20s, he went off in a completely different direction from his forebears. Perhaps wisely, as British comedy in the 1970s, when he started out, basically meant sitcom spin-offs or softcore sex films. So he went to Australia to make the Dennis Hopper starring quasi-western Mad Dog Morgan for far less money than its resplendent widescreen landscapes would suggest, and then came back home to make some of the most distinctive British films of the late 70s and early 80s: The Shout, Bad Timing, Eureka, The Hit. Asia was the next continent to beckon, with Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence of The Last Emperor, and then Canada for Naked Lunch and Crash, and in the last few years, for instance, he's made 3 films with Matteo Garrone, the subject of our last No Ticket Required: Tale of Tales, Dogman, and of course Pinocchio. When he won the European Film Award for Outstanding Achievement in World Cinema in 2006, the name of the prize couldn't have been more apt. So there's clearly plenty to talk about, and we'll be talking about it online on Monday, February the 7th at 8 p.m. Here are the instructions for joining.